Aye Okatakyie Afrifa etie for enede wasane akasa edi nsem bi aiden etudwa enede die ne nsem a okini na okafri aye constitution nim etie for mamunim se momokaya aye ex gratia aye John Dramani Mahama oba ibe kan se wetimi aiden etwa aye ex gratia nim no enede Okatakyie Afrifa ka nsem bi se aye John Dramani Mahama oni eho tumi bia se otimi aiden etwa ex gratia nim na ex gratia nim no ya state no constitution nim se ex gratia aye omampani a cheseti wa bedi dwuma okona chi a cheseti for okwaje na home no eno na ibi twa ne ka enkakra kopim se obeti afri aye artists for asset su na we na aye John Dramani Mahama eba yi nipemu ono ani pemu wanko so ti obia o se wetimi aiden etwa ex gratia na we na aye Okatakyie Afrifa etimi akoti aye articles and every air constitution air kasa ex gratia no omampani eni hu tumi se obetimi atwa ex gratia wi na ye nche hu no mesho se begibre na akoti de ye Okatakyie Afrifa otimi ka fa sa ensemu ni na hu na mesho se ni ahwa de hu tv mesho so bomoni a subscribe like na be share video we ama obi bi ahwe uya na don sabo adoma na da so se be ye din simbre ebetudwa obi bi ahwe ye nkoti ensem a okan na emresia meda obi aso nya bre ahwe mi.
So them.
Omaya ya de mra na ibu. Mutwa manfo ne trosa ha. Ada president ma so che constitution na. E dey na constitution aka. Yenya amendment. Na president ma ko no dey decide the ex gratia of executives na. You may read the constitution we will see. It's a new one na we decide here. How then do you say executive ne there me mo money ex gratia and manfo ne gidi. Obewie 4 years so ma fa chira kwaje. Because we have to show you what the constitution says. So first of all, fellows of us kwache be ka chere say president Mahama will control over the executive. Constitution man control over the executive. Constitution is a president Mahama be determine the parliamentary speaker, deputy speakers, members of parliament, the chief justice, the judicial the commissions, more ministers if the constitution is making in such a way that so obe a minister, obe a president, obe a vice president, it is parliament that would determine their emoluments and their ex gratia, the salaries and allowances payable and facilities available to the president, the vice president, the chairman and other members of the Council of State, the ministers of state, deputy ministers, being expenditure charged on the consolidated fund shall be determined by parliament, not president. So if President Mahama does not have control over a ministers, they are determined. How then do you come and say President Mahama say how many ministers in receive ex gratia? Meanwhile, the president does not have control on a ministers in ex gratia. What kind of lies is this? And trouble and Amudibu Maisran. Now, in 1979, sometime Professor George Bennett, one and a finance minister for Dr. Hilary Liman, or the Dr. Hilary Liman, or the budget called parliament. Emma, one cassa or one majority in parliament, almost to train. Edentia, if say on one cassa members of parliament, almost in one munisca, or Munyaskeni, what is one 79? What is one? Who names the members of parliament? And disapproving the budget. Fellows of us will chat from when President Mahama say the ministers they should not expect ex gratia. Meanwhile, President Mahama is not the one that will determine the ministers and the deputy ministers and the council of state. He doesn't determine the ex gratia. It is parliament. So dear to me, when constitution has not given you power, you cannot assume that power by force. Let's say ex gratia no President Mahama and make us over my ministers. Unless say you amend this provision, say you amend it, and when you amend it, it does not take retrospective effect. It is here where you amend the constitution unless you said the next government you be forming and they be falling on because our ministers we know and the deputy ministers they came on the back of this constitution and this constitution has made provisions for that. So you cannot come and lie to the people. Although you never say gratia free, I don't come and be lying to the people. Continuously. And this year, by now, I guess I'm the tro and the boom mines. No more some phone be bring soon, and you tron one of the cool. So, for so quite a can't do a video with say President Mahama say, as gratia, or and Crawford center more energy on a year DSTV. But me tie no, enye DSTV ne hia me. Baby o kan say President Mahama say onye as gratia for the executive. I'm say e dia tro no. E dia kohwie no. E dia na braba ne wurudu hwada sam no. Oh, Siadia. You have a constitution, naturally. Near as a president, Mama was said to me, obey me. I don't know.
Tell them.
Oh, my, I had them ready. Much amount for the trust. Other president Mama such a constitution. And then a constitution, Yanya amendment. Now, President Mama they decided a year the S gratia of executives. You may read the constitution, we will see. It's a young one who decide here. How then do you say executive media, memo money years gratia, and Mount for GD? Obey we 4 years as Roma for educate them. Because we have to show you what the constitution says. Now, Yentia fellows of Squatchy, Yengeno.
Of course, he does not have control over the legislature and the judiciary. But the executive, they cannot look forward to receiving S gratia. There is a man who cuts the cost of independence celebrations by 95%, from over 20 million Ghana cedis to 1.5 million Ghana cedis. I can reveal to you.
President Mahama does not control the executive or the legislature, and executive in India, they cannot be looking forward to receiving S gratia. What is the position of the law? President Mahama need control over the executive when it comes to receiving S gratia, because and you only decided. Now you can read Article 71. Now read Article 71 clause 1. Or say the salaries and allowances payable and facilities and privileges available to 1, the speaker and deputy speakers and members of parliament, the chief justice and other justices of the superior court of adjudicature, the auditor general, the chairman and the deputy chairman of electoral commission, the commissioner and deputy of the district assembly common fund, the chairman, vice chairman and other members of National Council of Higher Education, howsoever described, the Public Service Commission, the National Media Commission, the Lands Commission, and the National Commission for Education being expenditure charged on consolidated, on consolidated fund. The National Commission, okay, so I will say, shall be determined by the president on the recommendations of the committee of not more than 5 persons appointed by the president, acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State. Ocean Crofona president boy say president never determine on S gratia na. There is nowhere or board ministers wo ho. Wa more executive will be ho. Wa more even president no. If say president in the determine executive no, which is the you can say ministers and one no a vice president and one no president no. And you no determine a ne omo S gratia. So first of all, fellows of us kwa chebe ka chere say President Mahama will control over the executive. Constitution man control over the executive. Constitution is a president Mahama be determine the parliamentary speaker, deputy speakers, members of parliament, the chief justice, the judicial the commissions, more ministers if the constitution making in such a way that so be a minister, be a president, be a vice president, it is parliament that would determine their emolument and their S gratia. It's read Article 71 to near. So first of all, Article 71(2) says that the salaries and allowances payable and facilities available to the president, the vice president, the chairman and other members of the Council of State, the ministers of state, deputy ministers, being expenditure charged on the consolidated fund, shall be determined by parliament, not president. So if President Mahama does not have control over any ministers, they are determined. How then do you come and say President Mahama say how many ministers he receive S gratia? Meanwhile, the president does not have control on a ministers in S gratia. What kind of lies is this? And trouble and amudibu my son. Fellows of Usquachi. President Mahama does not determine the salaries and the monuments of a year, ministers, any deputy ministers, and the vice president and council of state. It is parliament that determines it. What we trying to actually man for? So President Mahama say, man, they shouldn't look forward to a year S gratia, which is where you amend the constitution. So this is a constitutional provision which cannot be said by President Mahama and no S gratia, because the constitution makes provision for it. Now the entry of and the side says, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. And the parliament be deciding a year president here. And in this case, baby, President Mahama will control. I will to me. So bet me as son. It's Obeka's own determined that of a year judiciary, parliament, any other. Now you so bet me. Does he have that power? Oh yeah. Because so nya touching ministers MPs no omo gratia asebeba almost now the year 1979 that time Professor George Penne one and a finance minister for Dr. Hilary Man or the Dr. Hilary Man or the budget called parliament Emma one kasa or majority in parliament omo to train edentia if say on one kasa the members of parliament omo si no munisika omo nyeska ni what is one 79 what is one? Unim say ni